Good morning, Maria. How are you today?
I'm great, great. Excited to share today.
Yes. So, have you ever felt powerless when things didn't go your way, like a job interview, a difficult diagnosis, or a challenging conversation about maybe world events? Maybe you've wondered how to stay motivated and true to yourself when outcomes are out of your hands. Today, we're talking about the Stoic control list, the concept of prohoresis, and how your intentions, not just results, shape your character. If you want to make decisions with more clarity and less regret, this episode is for you.
Welcome back to Coaching Conversations. I'm Maria Sabio. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and life coach, and I help people transform their lives fast by combining ancient wisdom with modern psychology. And this is episode 5 of our Stoic mini course. And last time we explored journaling and preparing your mind for tomorrow. So today we're tackling motivation, decision making, and the bigger why behind the Stoic practice.
And I'm Lourdes Lafer, a life coach and mindfulness teacher committed to helping people unlock their potential and cultivate confidence and calm. And just a quick reminder, this podcast is educational, not therapy. If you need support, reach out to your local resources.
So let's begin. I want you to imagine that you're preparing for a job interview, and you know you you want to get the job, you want to nail it, but so much just isn't up to you. And this is where and the Stoic control list enters. You basically draw two columns. On one side, you put up to me, and on the other side, not up to me. And on the up to me side, you write down, focus on it's my preparation, my attitude, my answers, my follow up. And on the other side, the what's not in control, it's the not up to me list. It's the interviewer's mood, not up to us. The other candidates and the final decision, not up to us. And this list isn't about, giving up. It's about focusing all of your energy, as much of your energy as you can, where it really matters, where you have influence.
Yeah, we spend so much time thinking about and worrying about things that are outside of our realm of influence. And that really makes up a really big pie of things that are not up to us, not in our control. And that leaves us feeling out of control, right? But when we focus on the things that we can control and really just honing in on that, then we feel more in control and we're actually spending our time more wisely.
Right, because, when you focus on what you can't control, you start to spiral because there's nothing that you can do about it. And so you start trading your peace of mind into this spiral. You're just throwing it in there because there's nothing that you can do to change certain things. And so if you focus your focus your intention and your power to things that matter, that you can control, even if it's instead of spiraling and sitting there thinking and oh, what I should have said, could have said, or walk the dog, do something else, because that gap is the shift that you need to refocus on what it is that you can control, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's delve into the what the Stoics called prohoresis, your inner power to choose your response, no matter what happens. It's the discipline of assent, deciding what you agree to internally, even when you can't control the outcome. So here's an example: you don't get the job, you can still choose your attitude, your next steps, and your self respect, how you view yourself. And this is how you build character, by acting according to your values and not just chasing results.
Right. I think that a lot of times we focus on what we think other people want us to do instead of focusing on the things that we know are the right things to do. And so when you focus on your virtues, when you focus on what you know to be right, you know, what you should be doing, when you focus on your own internal values, then you make better decisions. You empower yourself based on the character that or the person that you want to be and the values that you have. That's more powerful than following what other people are actually doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, focusing your life, your behavior, your actions on your values is something that it not only it builds character, but it's something that people can't, no one can take away from you, right? When you act in accordance to your values, and you know, when we're talking about the Stoics, we're talking about wisdom and courage, justice, and self-control. When you implement these values into your life, you're on a different path than following what society tells us is important or worthy of our attention on any given day. And that's, you know, that's a roller coaster ride, following, you know, the trends and what others deem is important or valuable. It's a completely different path.
Right, absolutely. Because if you focus on your internal values, then you're doing your own thinking. And that's significant because when you start to think for yourself, that's really when you're empowering yourself. You're not doing things because other people are doing the things that are popular. And so, yeah, I 100% agree with you. But let's talk about a little bit about motivation. You know, imagine if you are volunteering at, you know, your local soup kitchen. If if you if you do it to look good, but you're resenting every minute of it, that's different from doing it to serve others. Even if, you know, even if no one notices how you're feeling or your what your focus is, the Stoics ask, why am I choosing this? Because intention matters more than outcome. And you can't always control your results, but you can control your reasons, your effort, and definitely you can control your intentions of why you're doing certain things.
Yeah, you know, because our intentions, right? The energy that we bring to anything, that sends out ripples out into the world, right? And so if you're just playing the part, you're like, oh yes, I'm such a good person, I'm here volunteering at the soup kitchen, but you're, you know, kind of grumbling and being, I don't know, unsavory while you're doing it, that has a completely different outcome than really bringing your your joy and commitment because it aligns with your values, because it truly matters to you, and you're not, you know, you don't have ulterior motives. It's this idea of living your values. And when you do that, it creates a very different effect.
Right. It's entirely different when you do something because you care and because you want to help others, genuinely help others. Because when you come from that point, the energy, how you interact, how you smile, how you respect the other person, how you show compassion for the other people, all of that shows up with you. And when you do it out of obligation, then it's like when you go to the store and one person that, you know, one employee is, you know, happy to see you, greeting you, and you can see that maybe another person is unhappy. Now, of course, we don't know the circumstances of why they're unhappy, but we can see that they're unhappy. They're not even happy to see us. So even if they don't say anything, you can feel and see the energy around them. And it doesn't matter whether you're at work, if you're with your partner, your spouse, at home with your kids, or at a soup kitchen. People feel your energy. People feel whether you're open and present to them and authentic to them and their needs, or if you're not, if you're just there to be seen. It's an entirely different experience for them as well as for you.
Absolutely. And this leads us very neatly into what the Stoics believed in living according to nature, right? Aligning your actions with your best self and the greater good. Heracles, his circles of concern, right? Start with yourself, then expand to family, friends, community, and in all of humanity, right? And the bigger why is acting with integrity, compassion, and purpose. So not just for personal gain. And this perspective helps us to stay steady even when life is unpredictable, which it is much of the time.
Well, especially with the weather that we've been having, right? And other circumstances, of course. But when we're able to see others as our sisters and brothers, it really does change our behavior towards them. And one of the quotes that I really like about Marcus Aurelius, that I'm probably going to butcher here, but he says, what's good for the beehive is good for the bee. What's good for the bee is good for the beehive, because we have to an understanding that we're all interconnected in one way or another. And we've heard these stories where, you smile at someone who's not having a great day, and it ripples into their community, and they can smile at someone else, and it just keeps going. And so kindness just continues to ripple out, as well as if you're in a bad mood and you say something unkind or you're rude to someone, that also ripples. And we all know that it ripples. We've felt the ripple, and we need to be more conscious of it. We need to be more aware of the fact that we, as Marcus Aurelius says, we're all part of a shared community, a shared humanity.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. We're each, tiny threads in a grand tapestry, and you know what we do affects other people in multitudes beyond what we can even conceive, because that one act of either kindness or rudeness does affect other people. And then, like you just said, it creates a ripple effect. And so we can actually be part of a grand good ripple effect out into the world with our behaviors, even the smallest of behaviors, or we can go counter to that and create negative ripples out into the world. And so having the intention to create positive ripples out into the world with kindness and goodness and generosity, and seeing other people for their inherent worthiness and value is is really part of how I try to guide my life on a daily basis.
Yeah, it reminds me of Gandhi, be the change that you want to see in the world. And I think that we all want a better world. And so let's start with, as they say, the man in the mirror, right? But let's just say the women.
Yes, let's just say the women.
Let's just say the women. But moving on, if you try the control list and you still feel anxious, that's normal. Letting go of outcomes is a lifelong practice, and the goal it isn't about stopping. It's not about not caring anymore. It's to care wisely with less suffering, and over time you'll notice more. You'll notice more clarity. You'll notice more motivation and more peace. even when things, don't go as planned.
Yeah, and this idea of really laser focusing on the things that are within our control and letting go of precious outcomes, it's an exquisite form of freedom to simply let go of trying to control the uncontrollable. It's We expend so much mental, emotional energy over the things that we can't control. And when we're able to just, let go of them and say, well, all right, I did my best. I prepared as much as I could and I showed up as my best self. The outcome is out of my control. It frees us up.
Yeah, definitely. One phrase that I like that someone near and dear to me says often, JP, he says, we'll see what happens, right? When things aren't going his way, or when the response is not exactly what he wants, he always says, well, we'll see what happens. And it's such a beautiful wisdom to just understand, okay, not happening the way I want right now, but we're going to see what happens, and maybe things will change, and or not to what I exactly want, but things will definitely change, and I'll wait to see. Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah, and another thing that JP says is, oh well, that didn't work out. Oh well. And that's there's so much wisdom in that, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's like, oh
Absolutely.
well, what's
Oh,
what's next? What is there to do, and what is beyond my control? It's
right.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So this wraps up our Stoic mini course. If you want to keep building these practices, reach out. Let's have a conversation. No pressure, just clarity. Remember, focus on what's up to you, act with intention, and expand your circles of concern.
Yes, and for more wisdom and resources to architect your life, um, and to transform yourself in for the better. And for the better, I mean less suffering. Look for our book, A Path to Resilience: Small Steps to an Unshakable You. It blends mindfulness with ancient wisdom and also psychology. It's a year-long companion that imparts daily wisdom. Um, it has the values of wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. And it's now available online and via our websites where books are sold. And we want to say thank you to everyone who already purchased the book, and that you left such amazing, beautiful reviews for the book. We truly appreciate it. And if you haven't left a review, please do so. This really helps us to reach more people who can benefit from these concepts.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being here. We're walking this path right alongside you. Take care of your heart, take care of your mind, take care of yourself. If this episode resonated with you, like, follow, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that they're stronger than they think they are. We'll see you next time.